Now, this is our third lecture on security market line. Here, we will finally apply the knowledge that we have gathered in first two lectures and will solve one problem to make the total idea clear. Look at this particular slide. The right-hand side table is providing us the required information. In this table, 5 securities are considered A, B, C, D, and E. Their expected returns are 22.2, 15.8, 18, 9, and 25.8. And these are their beta value. T-bill means risk-free government bond. It is providing an expected return of 8%. Now this is Sensex means market index. Its expected return is 15 and the beta value of market index will be always 1 since it has no systematic risk. So the beta value of Sensex is always considered as 1. Now what you have to do? You have to identify underpriced and overpriced securities. You have to calculate expected return of equally weighted all security portfolios. You have to calculate implied beta. If actual return follows CAPM, then you have to show the return to be realized. You have to calculate the beta of such a portfolio where CAPM holds. And finally, if investors choose to invest only in undervalued securities, then you have to ascertain actual return over CAPM. So, lot of areas that we will solve in this particular problem. So, we may cover 3 or 4 items in this lecture. So, let us see how much we can cover up now. So, now move to the next slide. In first slide, this is the first slide where security returns are calculated on the basis of the data provided using security market line concept. Security market line concept is RI means return of the security or return of the share, RS, which was stated in our explanation, RF plus beta, RM minus RF. Note that here we know the RF value, which is 8 for security A. RF is the risk-free return for any security. This risk-free rate considered here is 8%. Beta of security X is 1.75. Return of the market index of Sensex is 15 as stated, and the IF value again is 8%. So put these figures in the formula, you will get the expected return as per security market line. This is the actual expected return projected by the investor, and this is the return that is projected by the security market line. So compare first security as per SML, the return should be 20.25, but actual expectation that is calculated is 22.20. So we can conclude that the market is actually performing better than its expectation. This type of so the expected point 222.2 will lie above the SML. So this is underpriced share. Definitely we will buy it. to get better return in my portfolio. Next, consider B. For B, expected return is 15.80 and beta value is 1.90. On the basis of SML, your likely return should be 21.30, but our expectation on the basis of the market, prevailing market is 15.80. That means it is not performing as well as it is expected. So it is overpriced. It is better to sell this particular share. Now for C, expected return 18, beta 1.10. So as per SML, my expectation is 15.70, but on the basis of performance in the market, it is providing better expected return. So it is lying above SML, it is underpriced. So immediately we will buy it to improve my portfolio position. Next is D. Its expected return is 9%, beta is 0.95, CAPM return is 14.65. So CAPM return 14.65 is higher than expectation. That means D is not performing well. The point is lying below SML. So it is an overpriced situation. It is better to sell this security. E is the last security. Its expectation is 25.80. Substituting the relevant data, we are getting 22% from SML line. That means its expectation is that it will perform better than SML. So at this moment to buy it, this security is underpriced as the point of expectation is lying above SML. So from this table, we can conclude that expected return of A, C, and E are above CAPM. They're underpriced, so buy them. And B or D are performing below CAPM return, so they are overpriced. Sell them. This will definitely improve our portfolio return. Now, second point. Second question in our problem was expected return of equally weighted all security portfolio. That means if we develop a portfolio where all these five securities are mixed up in equal proportion, then you have to calculate the expected return of that portfolio. This is shown in point B. When investors buy all share A to E in equal proportion, the return will be, since equal proportion 5 share, so wait will be 0.2 in each case. So 0.2 into 22.2, 22.2, that means expected return, 0.2 into 15.8, 0.2 into 18, 0.2 into 9, 0.2 into 25.18. All these expected return figures are given in the problem. So simply add them. Your expected return of the portfolio should be 18.16%. Now, next question in the problem was calculation of implied beta value. What is implied beta value? Implied, in case of implied beta, we don't know the beta value. So we have to calculate a beta value on the base which will give us the expected portfolio return. So if I want to get 18.16% expected portfolio return, then what should be the beta value of the portfolio? The answer is you just consider the SML equation again. In case of RS, we are substituting 18.16, which is expected return of the portfolio. Then beta value is unknown, remaining figures are known. So now rearrange it, you will get 1.45. So 1.45 is the implied beta value. Now, in fourth part, it was stated that if you don't consider your expected return, you consider the return or theoretical return as per security market line, then what is your portfolio return where all shares are equally combined? So we have now considered this to 20.25, 21.30, etc., all of which we have obtained by applying the security market line in equation in column 4. So just those figures are substituted and weight factor is as usual 0.2, then it is 18.78. So if you compare with previous figure, you are just seeing that SML line combination is providing a better return. Why? Because some of the securities that are included here is not performing as per their expectation. They have significantly reduced the portfolio return. As a result, security market line return is higher than portfolio return. Next one is portfolio beta value if CAPM return is maintained. So, like implied beta, we will calculate again. Simply, we will substitute 18.78 in place of 18.16. So, our beta value becomes 1.54, which was 1.45. So, that's all for our this discussion. Almost we have come to the end of this particular model. So let us finish it. And last point was three shares that are undervalued. We will combine them and we will calculate the portfolio return. So if three underpriced shares are combined, that means these shares are undervalued shares. These shares actual performance dot are lying above estimate. Then our portfolio return is 22%. Just see, it is much higher than the existing portfolio return. So if I buy these three shares, definitely my portfolio return will improve. Also, if I apply the theoretical CAPM value on these three securities, then also our return is 19.31, which is more than 18.78 shown earlier. So extra return that we are getting by comparing the portfolio return and CAPM return is 2.69. Due to this reason, we can finally conclude that it is always better to buy these three securities, and just contrary will happen if we take last two securities which is actually overpriced and sell them, then definitely our return from the revised portfolio will improve. So in this way, a portfolio manager can better his security of portfolio combination. That's all for today. In our subsequent lectures on the coming days, we will cover up the other portions with some problem on SML, and then we will move to our uncovered areas of the syllabus. Thank you.